Guys, in this tutorial you will add a smooth crouching effect in Unreal Engine 5, also works for Unreal Engine 4, so you can see when I hit my key, it is not snappy, it is very smooth. So I'm going to show you today how to do this. First thing we need to do is create some input. Go to Edit, Project Settings, go here under Engine to Input, and create a new action mapping. Hit the plus icon, and let's name this one Crouch. Now, here, type in control. For example, you want it on the left control. Maybe you also want it on the keyboard, so on the C keyboard. So find C. So that will be your input. Then we will go here to the first person character. Another thing you will need to know is that the speed, the maximum walk speed, is default at 600. Okay, open this one up. So now right click into your event graph and your blueprint and find the input event crouch that we just create here by action events. That's the one we're going to need. Now find your character movement component and drag out and find set the maximum walk speed. The maximum walk speed when we crouch, let's set it to 300, which is the half of the default in Unreal Engine. So when we press this, this will decrease in speed. And when we release, here, Ctrl W, and connect this one again. When it is released, we want to set it back to 600. Okay, great. So now, when we hit play, and I hit C or Control, you can see this slowing down and already going back to the normal walking speed. Now we want him to crouch also. And for that, we don't want a snappy one, we want a smooth one. For that, right click and create a timeline. Look up timeline and add a timeline. Let's add this timeline crouch, for example. So when we crouch, you want to play this. And when we're no longer crouch this, we want to reverse this action. So double click on this. Let's say we are crouching for half a second. So 0.5 will be fine. Click here on add flow track. And let's name this flow track crouch. Shift click 2 dots because we have 2 values. Let's set the first to 0 at time 0 and value 0 when we're not crouching. And the second one, we took a half second, so 0.5, and the value will be of 1. You can also click these buttons to fit it inside of the screen. So 0 will be not crouching and 1 is fully crouching. So in alpha values, it is either not 0 or it is either true, which is at 1. Okay, hit compile. You can close this or double click to open this once again. Now what we want to do is add crouching to the time of this timeline. So here in the viewport, you can see the capsule, which is the top component here, decides the size of our character, which means crouching or not crouching. And you can look at capsule have height. So let's see, when I make this smaller or bigger, you can see our character moving and the camera will follow as well. Ctrl Z to undo that one. Let's remember the value of 98. So what we can then do is go back to the event graph and find that component. Here, the capsule component. Drag this one out. And then you can set capsule have height. That's the one that we are going to need. And we will update this timeline over the capsule have height. Now we need to change the value on the size that is going to be. For that, we will linear interpolate. So right click and find lerp. So it will blend between the 2 values, namely A, which was 96. Remember, my mistake, 98. So 98. And let's set it about half the size when it's crouched, so something like 50. And we need to add this crouch value to the alpha. Remember, the 0 and 1 over half a second. So it's changing from 98 to 50 over that half second smoothly. And then you can return the value right back to here. Another thing we can do to smoothen this one out is to go back to the timeline, double click. What you can then do is select these 2 points, right click on this one, and we can go to user, because then we can make this crouch more smooth like this. Compile, and then back to your event graph, select this one, hit C to comment it out, crouch. I like to add a color for my when I change something to my character movement component and capsule component, I can easily find this one. So this should be all fine, and when I will hit play, you can see we walk around, and then I hit C, and I am crouched. I let go, I'm no longer crouched, same with control. So you see it is not snappy, it is pretty fluid and smooth. So that's how you can enable crouch inside of your game.